Attention gamers. Alright, this is gonna be a biggie banger because Riot's lead game designer aka Mr. I don't know this but I already don't like this guy because set should have never made it out of alpha testing, just announced that they will be taking Summoner's Rift and flipping everything upside down in the upcoming patches before Worlds, and boy oh boy is it a damn doozy to cover. First let's take a quick look into the break room where these seemingly non-existent balance meetings happen at Riot to get inside the heads of these clearly qualified experts in determining the state of the game. Number 1. Focus on professional play. Yippee-ki-yay, exactly what I want to hear as someone hard stuck in gold, knowing that any changes tailored to good players will likely make my solo queue experience feel even more like they are flipping me over, pegging me down and inserting hard sharp objects up my asshole. But moving on, they want to not introduce changes with a high likelihood of needing to be reverted. Well, someone should have aligned freaking Craig in the first aid department with this unified goal before he decided to give Band-Aid Boy a second lick, because clearly the motive behind that change was to see exactly how many licks it takes to get to the center of a broken-ass champ who is now being played in all 5 roles at a 120% win rate and making me personally more afraid of a depressed bundle of gauze than I ever had. And the answer is 2 licks. We might as well just give Annie 2 freaking bears or Aphelios another DLC's worth of Halo weapons or Jinx another eating disorder if we are going down this route. Then lastly, they want to open up options in pro meta tournaments, which I don't know about you but to me it sounds like they are saying pro play is boring as shit to watch because there's like 150 odd sum of champions in the game and we as viewers of Worlds get to see the same 12 played on repeat as if these players just haven't unlocked anyone else yet. And if people aren't watching enough Worlds, they will have to release a Sentinel's Skin sequel just to cover the bottom line projections for Q4, but I am all freaking for this change if it leads to me potentially seeing a Kindred ADC pulled out of the Samsung White Rabbit hat in one of the drafts. And as far as I'm concerned, if the goal is to make Worlds more fun to watch, they should just nerf CS farm goal to like 1 gold per creep so that we don't have to watch Farming Simulator for 26 minutes, then 1 team fight which consists of 20 seconds of action, then 1 team leaving stage all sad, and then 40 minutes of casters talking about why draft diff determined the one and only fight we saw. But yeah, with the news that Riot is going to be making some drastic changes gets my juices going and feeling like they are going to come pouring out of my butt tunnel from pure excitement. I figured I would take a deeper look. And for the record, while I did once cover patch notes when my channel was still the size of a singular pube on a micro-endowed young Chad, I didn't want to make a habit of it because then I would just be a better version of Pro Guides, asking you random ass super specific questions like what's your favorite sex position on a Saturday just to drive more engagement in the comments on the video. But I figured I would make an exception this time to inform the masses of the things they will love and hate about their upcoming daily torture sessions on the Rift after these patches. Now for context, these changes started last patch when they felt Lucian was lonely in lane, so they gave him a metric piss load of incentives to grab a butt buddy and go bot together, and now I get to deal with Sonos playing cover song concerts for him as he cucks everyone around with absurd magic damage buffed autos to his already. My auto attack has a stutter passive after using abilities. Not to mention his ult now looks like he just ended a 2-week no-fap challenge and finally got an opportunity to let Lana Rhodes know how much he missed her. So yeah, if I don't see him as a pick ban at Worlds, then color me confused, because President Obama has definitely been making a return to the bot lane in my games. Then yes, Craig turned this midget mummy into a monster. I already covered that, but I just want to repeat that holy shit, Craig, would your mom be proud of what you've been up to, man, Jesus. Riot also gave Gangplank another barrel to make him feel better about them, informing him that his ranged Q is indeed ranged, which means he can't pretend it's melee anymore and get away with rocking grasp. And while good players adapted well, I feel like I owe an insincere thank you to whoever's idea this was for me having an 0-13 Gangplank in 4 out of every 5 ranked games I play in gold. But let's move on to the next patch as things start to get juicy. The Riot team wants to have and eat their PR cake, so they have small, less risky changes like taking this colorful caribou and running some of her base stats numbers through a randomizer, which should bring her back to the frolicking fawn pro staple that they I guess want to sell more skins for this October. But then they are making some quote-unquote more risky changes, which is funny because first they said changes likely to be reverted are bad, and then they said hey, we are going to make a bold experiment on Draven and see how miserable it makes everyone before we potentially revert it, and that change is to truly make him the glorious executioner. They have now decided that if his ult leaves an enemy below the number of admiration stacks he has, they get to join my parents' late dog on the dead bitch bench, and while the goal is to make him viable in pro play, I can't fathom any way for this change to not result in some absolutely ridiculous circumstances. That said, I'm excited for the chaos, so fuck it. Rengar's whole stack system is getting reworked and honestly I don't know or care much for this shitty kitty and I am sure these clearly neglected as a child human scum sluts who play him with their virgin vendettas to kill us ADCs will still be able to do that with ease. But hey, if the proverbial new outfit they are giving the bladed tabby results in him getting some airtime at Worlds and me getting to see a professional ADC get one tapped while backseaters in my comments say it only happens to me because I can't position well, then call me a clam because I will be happy. They then spun the Riot Balance roulette wheel and here are the champs it landed on for the buff column with a few honorable mentions worth noting. Dr. Mundo needs buffs said absolutely no one ever who has played League of Legends since his rework, so now when you and your team just spent 27 cooldowns and a World of Warcraft Mythic Raid group's level of coordination to get his health below 20%, he will just hit the whoopsie button and tell you all to start over. Not to mention he has now been given the appropriate ball cuffing to give him the confidence to identify as a jungler and use the jungler's bathroom when he wants to because his Q damage to monsters has been capital B buffed to shit. Miss Fortune gave the Balance team 2 convincing reasons to give her ult 2 more waves of damage, which isn't really notable, but if you follow my Boosted Betty series you know that she's currently my favorite champ to look at to play, so I'm thrilled about this. Then we get to the juicy clickbaitable bullshit that everyone's been hearing about. Singed's ult now causes grievous wounds, which means when the fartbag exterminator crop dust yo ass piece of leaking pollution patrol goes all hyphy cocaine enema, you probably now want to obey the golden rule of League. Never chase a singed, more than ever. But speaking of grievous wounds, here is the grand freaking finale of this upcoming patch. The what in the absolute shit are Riot employees smoking and how can I get some of it changed that will undoubtedly cause some nifty rifty chaos. Soraka aka the majestic unicorn slut that's already a banana slinging bitch and a half to deal with, is receiving the wildest change to her ult ever. You see, when you are against a champ like her or the magic queefing AFK kitten, the easiest way to deal with it is just to build grievous wounds, you know, for a small price of 800 gold all your shitty e-girly low inflated champs bullshit goes away. But Riot has now decided to say, hey, you know how you can use strategy and smart decision making skills in our game to counter or outplay your opponents? Well, no more bitches, because Miss I ult and AoE heal all asses now clears grievous wounds before triggering, which means the only possible way you can deal with this is to put wanted unicorn ass tartar on the menu at the bounty hunter bar and target funnel the purple chick with the dildo strapped to her head, because if you don't, you will practically have to kill the whole enemy team twice if you ever want to hear Rift Alexa announce that orgasm inducing ace again. Aced. So yes, 11.18 is likely going to make a lot of asses more raw than my lactose intolerant genetic variant after chugging a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks like a whiny middle school girl. And while it's too early to see what's all baking in the OP oven for 11.19, we do know that Vex, Annie's gothic cousin, is on her way to the Rift, long arm dragging grudge-like presence with a trailer looking like she's about to pull some simp slaps and scare tactics on everyone. So hide yo kids, hide yo wife, cause young little girl characters in League of Legends be killing everyone out here. And as I said on Twitter, I can't wait to get one tapped on repeat by this depressed toddler so that Riot can sell more copium Vex skins on release. Now I've gotta say in the news that Riot is changing shit up with things that they said they don't want to get reverted, while also making changes so drastic that they are openly admitting to risking them getting reverted. I am both excited and slightly terrified that I am going to hate so many more things only to probably still see the same 12 champs picked every game at Worlds. They might be a different dozen with these changes, but my guess is a meta will always be a meta at that level and teams will adapt to whatever Riot makes the strongest and cling to it like it's one of the two bears Annie's has when Riot makes that change too. Time will tell. Please slap my subscribe button till it squeals if you haven't. Rav out.
Don't fuck with Rabby boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy, talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back then I'm taking your Grammy and boy oh boy I'll make her happy.